Hey everyone, welcome to another review, and here's my review for the movie Licorice Pizza. Wow, that is not a food title. This movie's not about food. This is actually a coming of age teen romance movie that takes place in 1973 in San Fernando Valley. And this movie is written and directed by the one and only Paul Thomas Anderson, who gave us movies like Magnolia, Boogie Nights, and There Will Be Blood. And yeah, it's just loosely based off a true story, off of an actual real producer and his love story when he was in his early 20s, his relationship with this young girl. It's about these two young teenagers who are going through their 20s, and it's the love story about them in the 70s. Their name is Elena and Gary. Gary Valentine. I always remembered his last name because of Vincent Valentine. No relation. And it's about them and their life together. Well, during this time period, it's also a lot about music. It's about movies and a lot of other stuff. And it's a very 70s movie, and it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and that you really got to know that. Like, you can't I can't stress that enough, that this movie is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. The reason people need to know that is because Paul Thomas Anderson has a very particular style to his movies. And if you've never seen a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, you definitely need to watch some of his movies to go see any new movie of his that comes out. Like, a lot of people I know saw the movie Inherent Vice, and they're like, what the fuck did I just watch? Again, because they didn't watch Paul Thomas Anderson movies. And even people who watch, like, Punch Drunk Love, they thought it was just going to be like a casual romantic comedy, but no, it is a Paul Thomas Anderson romantic comedy. So people really need to know Paul Thomas Anderson's work to watch his movies, because he has a particular style with his writing and his direction and the way he drags a lot of things on in an interesting way, sometimes in a very captivating way, and sometimes in a very obnoxious way. For me, I'm not a fan of all of Paul Thomas Anderson's work. I didn't like The Master. I couldn't stand Inherent Vice. I think Magnolia and There Will Be Blood are good movies, but I don't think they're masterpieces like a lot of people think they are. Personally, I'm more of a Boogie Nights guy. I really enjoy Boogie Nights. I think that is his best film, and it's his funniest film. And I like Punch Drunk Love. I think Punch Drunk Love is a very solid flick. I even liked his newest one a couple of years ago, Phantom Thread, with Daniel Day-Lewis. I actually thought that was a pretty good movie. So I'm very mixed bag when it comes to Paul Thomas Anderson. Some people think he's a genius. Some people think he's an overrated, pretentious hack. I don't think he's either one. I think he has his ups and downs. And honestly, Licorice Pizza is more of an up than a down. I think this is a good movie. I think it is overly long and it drags, like all his movies do. But the young actors, I forget any of their names, but the two young actors in this movie are both very good, and they both have very good chemistry with each other. And the movie actually is pretty damn funny in a lot of moments. And not like that weird, awkward comedy you get in Inherent Vice. Like, I know so many people who thought Inherent Vice was such a funny film. I thought that movie was so dumb. I could not stand. Especially the scene with the ice cream. Everyone's like, oh, it's such a funny scene. I'm like, no, that scene's stupid. Licorice Pizza actually has legit funny moments, and it has good dramatic moments, and I like the time period it's in, the 70s, and it feels very 70s with just the way it's laid out with the production. The production looks so good in this movie. The set pieces look great, and very 70s, the style, the music, it's very 70s looking, and it's really cool. I actually really like that. And I was actually invested with this love story. I wanted to know where it was going, and I wanted to know how it was going to end, and it was interesting. There's even like some pretty big actors in it, like Sean Penn and Bradley Cooper, who aren't like huge in the film, but they're in it and they're pretty damn good as well. And yeah, it's a thoroughly enjoyable film with an interesting enough story. Especially if you're a film lover, they talk a lot about film in this movie, and that's all great stuff. And yeah, I think it's a very good movie. But it does have a lot of PTA style to it. There are so many moments that drag on. There are so many moments of just sheer weirdness like his kind of weirdness, and I'm just like, okay. There's just like a lot of moments like they didn't need to put in the movie, and there's just things, they're just choices sometimes PTA makes. I don't know why he makes some of these choices. I'm like, what are you doing? And this movie is riddled with some of these choices. I'm just like, what? Why is that in this movie? Like, why is this in this movie? Like, what are you doing? GTA he's a complicated filmmaker, but I give him a lot of credit for being unique and very original. He is his own man. Like he creates his own style, and I admire Paul Thomas Anderson. I may not like all his movies, but I do respect him as a filmmaker, and he'll always give us something unique and something interesting. And whether you like it or hate it, you're gonna remember it. And that's the best thing I can say about Licorice Pizza. It is a funny, enjoyable, romantic comedy that is very memorable. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I do think it has a lot of those problems as all PTA films do, but I still quite enjoyed it, and I would still recommend it, especially if you're a PTA fan. I think if you're a hardcore PTA fan, you're gonna fucking love this movie. So I definitely recommend Licorice Pizza. It's not amazing, but it's good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give Licorice Pizza a 7.8 out of 10. Check it out if you want. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me what is your favorite and least favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Favorite, Boogie Nights. Least favorite, oh, probably Inherent Vice. Yeah, Inherent Vice. What is yours, though? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.